The hardest part about grasping this entire concept is that on paper, you can be doing all of the right things. People might even be congratulating you for what you're doing, but you could be a couple of degrees off in there and it can be crushing your results. But before we get into this today, make sure that you've hit subscribe to the channel. And if you're new to here, my name's Christian Hill. I'm the founder of Ready for Anything, a coaching program for high performers, entrepreneurs and execs that really want to get after it in every single aspect of their life, build the body, build the mind, and turn that into a lifestyle they've never been able to achieve. So when I say the term high performer, you can call it whatever you want. It's a driven, ambitious person that knows they're capable of more. Now, when we say that, it sometimes creates a lot of delusion because a lot of people can hear that word, they disassociate themselves with it, they don't see themselves in it at all, and then they're like, that's not me. But actually, they have all of those traits and characteristics, and they actually want all of the outcomes that that person has. What you need to remember is becoming a self-proclaimed high performer is it's a journey. Nobody wakes up and they're just like, I can do everything, I have total confidence, I have no limiting beliefs. But how we need to look at this is almost, we need to kind of work back the way. There's 3 different camps that myself and Ailey break high performers into. So senders are the ones that a lot of people would consider being like, that's what a high performer actually is. So super coachable, they ask all of the right questions, they've maybe been through the process multiple times so they get it, they understand it. They humour the fact that the person doing the thing that they want to do actually has the answers and they can lead them to there. They don't make any assumptions that they know more than they actually do, and they're just very humble throughout the entire process. And surprise, surprise, they get very good results when it comes to their health, their performance, their career, and everything they push towards. They remove friction as much as possible, and they're just the best people to coach because it actually makes our life so easy, right? That's like 10% of people, and it's our goal to turn people into that and take them through that journey. Camp 2, this is where so many people fall into, by the way. The best way to describe a spinner is someone that is just doing a lot but not achieving a lot. They've got their finger in a lot of pies. They're probably biting off a bit more than they can chew. And the journey to becoming a sender, you kind of have to go through this point. And the best way to describe a spinner is just that person that you're like, how are they even doing all of those things right now? Like, how are they training for that event? How are they running multiple businesses? How are they getting paid so little whilst they're doing all these things? Like you just look at these people, it's like the busy fool is the best way to describe it. A lot of people stay here in this camp. They never really leave it because they actually find a lot of comfort and a lot of complacency here. And then lastly, we've got camp 3. That's the floaters. So the floaters are what I call the diamonds in the rough. These are the people that actually have this deep down feeling that they've never actually said out loud. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to tell someone about this because it's very true, that they know they're capable of so much more. They know they're destined to do great things, but when they look at their life at this current moment, they're actually sat there going, I have no evidence that backs up that belief that I have. If you're not the main character of your life, you just do what everyone else does, you're a bit of a grey man, you just fit in and you just do the minimum. People like this crave the story. Whatever the BBC News says, they do it. Whatever people are saying in the government, they do it. They just believe the entire narrative. I'm not saying these people are not capable of doing great things. They absolutely are, but they're just a diamond in the rough right now. They've not had enough of the right people around them. They've not had enough good influences. Sometimes it's good to borrow other people's belief because you've never had much of your own. You can drift in and out of these. Like you can go up to the point of being a sender, lose all of your confidence and go back to being a floater. Simone Biles is a great example of this. I think she's got several movements named after her in gymnastics because if you get a movement named after you in gymnastics, basically you're the first person to ever execute that movement. She's got like 3 or 4 named after her. She went through a point in the 2022 Olympics, the one that was actually held in like, whenever it was like meant to be 2021 or something, but it got held the year after because of the pandemic. She got the twisties, which is basically this thing that gymnasts can get from all the sort of high momentum turns and stuff, and walked away from the Olympics. Like just walked away because she couldn't perform the way she wanted to perform. And it sent her into a depression, it sent her into a spiral, and she completely lost herself. She actually stopped training. So the reason why I'm saying this is like, you don't get somewhere and stay there. You need to earn it. You need to constantly work. You need to constantly push yourself. And in the effort of finding new limits, sometimes you can lose yourself in the process of doing that. It's absolutely okay. It's all part of life. And when I really learned this lesson better than ever was back in 2021. I was prepping for my first ever Ironman. I was building my business online at the time, and I was actually in the process of buying my first home as well. I like to take on a lot at once. And anyway, I started going to therapy, and I went to it out of for a few different reasons I went to it, because curiosity, I wanted to learn more about myself. Selflessly, I wanted to learn more about how I could actually understand it, so if I ever had to recommend it to clients, I could then recommend it, because I think it's a bit like ironic of me to tell someone that they would benefit from therapy if they've never been to it. And I also wanted to just figure out more about myself. And I eventually got to this point at therapy where we started kind of moving on to mental performance. So we started speaking about visualization, and obviously at the time I was coming up to do my first ever Ironman. So to give you some context here, I couldn't swim. I was teaching myself to swim. I'd never done a triathlon, and the training block had just been like extended way longer than it needed to be, right? It was awful, man. He said to me, "What is your self-talk like right now?" And I was like, "Good." So my understanding of self-talk was like, well, I get through sessions, I push myself. And he said, "No, what's it like? What is the quality of your self-talk like?" And I was like, atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious right now. I was in my own head, constant comparison, toxic mindset, draining myself, exhausting myself, putting myself into a state of fight or flight, and I was essentially creating a lot more misery in my life. I felt like I was trying to fit a square peg into a circle hole. You need to have a bit of a check-in with yourself right now, and you need to really look at what sort of mindset and headspace are you creating for yourself? What are you ruminating right now? Now, I want you to just sit, if you're watching this right now. You might be going through a huge amount of growth. You might be pushing things in business. You might be taking on a huge challenge. You might be doing all of those things at once simultaneously, like I said I was doing at that point in my life. Whatever that is right now, really, really check in with yourself right now. What are you ruminating? What kind of headspace are you ruminating? Are you judging other people? Are you manufacturing stories and beliefs to back up the way that you are? Are you trying to differentiate yourself from other people as to why your situation and your scenario is different, and that's why you're not as good as what you are right now? You really need to check in with this stuff, and you really need to sit with it all the time, because nobody else can do that for you. And this is the definition of working on your mindset. Working on your mindset isn't going and just doing a thing. Like, I wrote down the 3 things I'm grateful for. Yeah, it's good that you've done that. Your mind has on average like 60,000 thoughts a day, and I'm not saying this to overwhelm anyone. I'm saying this as a bit of a reality check. You have to go on a journey with this. You have to go on and be surrounded by people that are going to make you think bigger. And that brings me on to the second point right there. If you're going through a season of growth in your life right now, where you're really chasing it, you're really getting after it, like, look at the people that are in your circle right now. Look at the people that you're regularly going to. And when I say going to for advice, right, who are you moaning to? Who are you telling that you're finding something hard? What type of discussions are you having? Because if you're going to someone that hasn't achieved the things that you want to achieve, or you're going to someone that's in a season of life that you're in right now, yeah, it's great and it's important to have these people around you, they're not going to get it. So if you're constantly going to people and you've got this negative echo chamber going on in your mind, and then you're going to other people to seek out advice or lean on or just vent to, who have not achieved the thing that you want, it's just lunacy. So you need to be upgrading your circle. You need to be hiring help. You need to invest in coaching. You need to be investing in mentoring. You need to be going out your way and putting your hard-earned cash into somewhere that's going to give you a different perspective, doesn't have a bias. But if you're serious about whatever it is that you're chasing right now, like, your business is one of the first things you think about. The goals that you pursue, high rocks, Ironman, marathons, improving your physique, improving your composition, just being on like a journey of self-improvement, it's what you talk about. It's like your identity. Why would you not want to make that more frictionless? Why would you not want to make that easier for yourself? Think about it. You're making it harder. It's like, right, you have these resources, which is, number one, your focus, one of the most important resources. Where are you putting your focus? You're putting it into books, podcasts, conversations. Number 2 is finance. Where are you putting your finances? Are you just spending it on materialistic goods? Holidays, shoes, clothes. Like, what are you spending your money on? Spend it in things that are going to give you the cheat code for the things that you want, and I'm telling you, you will not look back. And then the last one is, you need to just think about the words that you're saying. Your words are your weapon. If you're constantly living in lack, you're constantly doubting yourself, you're constantly saying things and giving into behaviours as a result of the words you're saying, can you be surprised that you're never going to achieve the things that you believe you cannot achieve? If you're frustrated about finance, you're frustrated about your health, but then you constantly speak about yourself in a way that's very, very damaging to your character, that you've never been athletic, that you've always been fat, that you've always been unfit, that you're not smart, that you're not capable. You have to change that narrative, and you have to actively stop yourself from doing it. So every time you feel yourself going to say it, you need to just clamp it and be like, this story is not enabling me to achieve the things that I want to achieve. You need to just stop it. Stop saying stuff that doesn't align with the type of person you're trying to be. It's not that hard. And if you haven't seen already, I am tearing our entire coaching model to pieces right now, and we're going to be relaunching it on the 4th of February, which we're super excited about. The biggest changes with this is that we're really leveling up some of the concepts we already do, but we're actually bringing in the Pro Accelerator. This is going to be a supplementary coaching model, which is going to be done over a 12-week period. This is going to be accessible for any of our clients to step up into, and for anyone who wants to come in and go directly into it. And it's essentially everything what we do inside RFA, which is top tier. However, the biggest gap that myself and Ailey really looked at is that if we had a client inside RFA who's crushing it, getting after it, how could we help them achieve 12 months of progress inside 3 months? That was the big question that I posed to Ailey. And Ailey was like, it would require a lot more one-to-one time. It would require us to really go in depth. It would require us to actually go a layer deeper. And the big question that you might be asking to yourself right now is, why is it you don't just do that with every single person? Number one, some people aren't ready for that, guys. Some people just aren't at a point in their journey. And for what we actually deliver inside RFA, the level of detail specificness, it gives them all the unlocks to go up the gear. Like I mentioned already, think about where someone's at in that journey of floater, spinner, sender. If someone's coming into that as a floater, it's going to be quite overwhelming for them. However, for your spinners and your senders, there's a lot of stuff that we can really look into, and we've started trialing this out already. It's going to be a very specific physical and mental coaching program, which is done one-to-one, structured, and we want to take clients through the entire journey and help them graduate at the end. And this is going to help folk expedite great progress and make it exceptional progress. Anyway, make sure that you've hit subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.